Welcome to Embody Your Freedom. Tonight is class 6. Here everybody comes. Good evening. Hello, my friends. Hello, it's so good to see you. Hello, Kara. I get to see you in a couple weeks. Live. What day are you coming in?
I'm actually coming in on Tuesday, the 17th, and
Nice.
then I'll be downtown for the weekend, and then I leave on the 24th.
Oh, fun. So we get to spend some time.
Yes, ma'am.
Yay. That's awesome. Hello, Terry. Hi, Cindy.
Hi.
Hi, Carolina. Hi, Julia.
Hi.
Hello, Matthew. We're going to give a couple minutes for people to join. And I'm going off and grabbing one of our tools for tonight. Cool. Welcome. So tonight we're going to start with, if anybody did homework for the relationships inventory, and see how that went. We'll take shares there. Okay, I'm going to go over to Dropbox. And then we'll dive into tonight's content. And a big recognition to everyone who's been posting about their warrior. You guys having fun with that?
Yes.
I'm loving to see all these warriors and like, wow. And then just the Kara, yours blew me away with that mantra and declaration. I was like, yes.
I thought it was pretty badass.
Did it? You went, yeah, me.
That's exactly what I did.
You did? Boom. That's me. I love it. Whenever we can identify and really connect with things that, hey, AI knows about us. So why can't we own it, right?
It was an interesting process with AI, right? Thank you. It really was just kind of deepen things a little bit more, things that are like right there, but you don't really know how to say them, or that just made all the difference in the world with it.
That nuance. Yeah.
Thank you.
Energy. Do you have yours handy? I was just curious. Because it'd be fun if you could read it so people can resonate. Not everybody may have seen it on the Facebook group.
Sure. And I actually went and laminated several of them so that I could put several. I've got one in my office, one in my bedroom, one in the kitchen. So you know me, I like to post things. But I am Kalina Solea. I rise from fire and bloom with purpose. My presence is power. My voice is truth. I am light. I am rooted. I am becoming.
Yes, you are.
Thank you, ma'am.
Wow, it's powerful. And I love her ensemble.
I know, right? And of course, I had to put in there purple, and there's a purple tint to her hair. So it gave me everything I was looking for.
A way to round her out,
There you go.
Yeah, own it. So let's go ahead and share some wins, epiphanies, progress, maybe things that you faced in a whole new way from this growth journey that you're on. Who would love to share? This comes up every time. So I know some of you guys look at me like, oh, I don't know. I don't want to share. So hint, this happens at the beginning of every class. Kara's been with me for enough classes for many years. She's like, I'm
come prepared.
Kara, kick us off. Again, you already kicked us off.
I did. That was one of my shares. But the other share is I started the 11-day cleanse yesterday, and I had just really finished her. And it's interesting. One of the questions is, how do you see yourself, and how do you carry yourself when you read this? And so I have noticed that there's a different level of confidence. There's a different level of engagement. I had said the other day, I want to be present. And so I think that just has made the biggest impact on how I've dived into the
Go for it.
11-day reset.
Mhm. Wow, how wonderful paralleling, like a pairing of these two parts of you in the space.
How things align.
Yeah, we've been going into health. We know that in order to have energy, we need to have health and vitality. And I started a program 8 days ago, and I like the word religious because it means structured and faithful to it. I've been religious to like created the sacredness of what I've committed to. And I noticed myself on a couple of occasions, the pattern of how things went down before just automatically wanting to come in, such as previous to this, I would have a pack of sugar and some half and half in my coffee for like 5 days straight. No half and half, no sugar in the coffee. And then there was one morning, I routinely I grabbed the sugar and I was about to tear it open. I'm like, what? And so consciousness, the habitual nervous system way of being, it takes rewiring, right? And so when we notice, so way to go and stepping into this and integrating. So who else would love to share epiphanies, new knowings, new ways of handling something that before you think the old version of you would have handled it differently?
So I have a win.
Yes, Terry, share.
I set a goal for myself. I'm trying to lose weight and get in better health. And I didn't quite meet my goal weight this past weekend. However, I came off of all my blood pressure medication. So that's a big win in my book.
That
Even
is
though the
very
weight
good.
goal didn't quite make it, but it got close.
Hey, close is still progress, right? It's
Yep.
still progress any which way you slice it. And I say all progress is progress. So it's not like a little progress or a lot of progress. It's all progress is progress. And we do this. Yeah. Congratulations. That's a big step. How are you feeling off the meds? Have you noticed anything yet?
Yes, because my blood pressure was tanking. So
Oh.
Saturday was a horrific day. And since I came off the meds, it's stabilized again. So we're good.
Way to go. Way to go. Well, we're here with you, cheering you on. And if you want to post in the group any of your wins on that health front, I could post today. I'm 4 pounds down. So
Woohoo!
yeah. And the biggest part is inflammation. So like I think Kristen, who's not on here yet, she and I met earlier today and she noticed that, wow, your face looks thinner. I'm like, I'll take it. Yes. I'll take it. Mainly it's the energy and the vitality and the mental clarity, which is what I'm going for. So any other wins, any things you'd love to share? Cindy, yes, Cindy. Thank you,
Yeah,
Terry.
so I've been making a lot of changes with my diet and health and exercise too. And I wish I could say like, what?
There's a theme here.
There's a theme here. Yeah, I wonder who kicked us off on that kick, right? But yeah, so seriously, it's been quite interesting, because I found myself slipping. But what I found myself when I slipped back into a couple of meals that I knew I shouldn't have, because primarily fat content, salt content. Um, it one thing that I really noticed was I really didn't enjoy it like I used to.
Mm,
Mainly because not because of the flavors, but because of how I feel in my body.
way to notice.
I prefer the way that it feels when I'm eating clean, even though I like the way it tastes when I'm not.
Yeah.
So I got to figure out that. But I do, I'm finding myself making better and better choices all the time. And today I made one because um, in order to get my A1C down and my inflammation down, one of the things I need to do is not have milk and sugar in my coffee.
There you go.
And I don't like milk and sugar. I mean, I don't like coffee without milk and sugar. So when you said that about the coffee, I thought, that my decision today was that I ran out of milk
Uh-huh.
and I made the decision not to go buy it.
Ooh, good.
So I will be drinking, healthy tea and things like that. Yes, that are more conducive to the goals that I want and the goals I need to have for my health and improvement. And Teresa, where'd she go? Oh,
She's
she's
right there.
gone. Oh, there she is. Everybody moves around on the
Yeah,
thing.
when somebody comes in, we all move.
Yeah, and so Teresa, thank you for sharing about getting off of the blood pressure medication because that was a real encouragement for me because, I had to do that for the first time in my life and
Mm,
my goal is to get off of that, and sometimes I wonder, am I going to be able to do it? And you've just shown me that yes, it can be done. So thank you.
yes, absolutely. Way to inspire each other. This is
Yeah,
awesome. We've
exactly.
got a definite theme going on here tonight, but someone can have another win and it doesn't have to be health related. It could be. And so we have time for another win. Who would love to share something that you're noticing and share? Yes, Carolee. Oh, there's that hand. Look at she even raised her hand with the reaction. So yes, she's ready. Carolina, take it away.
Okay, so I may get vulnerable, I may not, but I will start with
Oh,
first,
get vulnerable. Come on. Get
congratulations to
vulnerable.
everybody. And Cindy, if you buy Texas pecan coffee from HEB, it has a flavor, it has a sweetness, it's got some caramel notes to it. I drink it black, and I don't need to put anything in it because it's just so flavorful by itself. Comes
Beautiful.
in
Thank you.
back, and I highly recommend it.
Okay.
And I have been forcing myself to I live on a third floor and it's all stairs. And so I now take 2 stairs at a time for my quads. Tang Su.
Yes, Tong Su.
And my parents live in the same type of apartment complex just down the street. And I take those stairs 2 at a time.
Yeah.
And I carry groceries 2 at a time. I had a Costco delivery today and I helped the lady. She's like, I can help you. I'm like, no, I'm training for martial arts. I got this. And I'm carrying things like this, box of water above my head 2 at a time. And so now it's just 2 at a time. That's my win. Like my natural state is to go upstairs 2 at a time.
Yes.
And so yeah, it's really cool to have that. And now instead of looking down, I'm looking up and across. So I'm focusing my
Horizon.
brain to like tell my body how to take the steps
Mhm.
2 at a time. And I also have a win I choose to share here.
We're listening.
Let me see. Okay, so if I hold the phone here, y'all can see it. This is a
A little
circle.
closer here. Go closer to the camera. I can't see it.
This is a circle of a badge of the International Tang Soo Do Federation. So
Yes.
it's a patch that will go on my dobok, my uniform for karate. And in here in this image is my name registered. This is a piece of paper and my name is registered here. Carolina Nostrosa is now registered at the ITO.
Worlds. Oh, you're registered as a student, as a member
As a
of the
student.
ITO.
Yeah, I'm official.
Official.
Yeah.
Way to claim it. Way to go for it. We've
Thank
loved your
you.
energy of just showing up and doing it and embodying. That's the name of this course, right? Embody your freedom. And that's what we're doing. We're stepping into it. There's no more excuses. Like, who here is ready to see and hear the excuse mindset so easily that we just go, not me. No, it's not me, right? It's always on offer. Excuses, blaming, criticizing, comparing, complaining, the drama of the world. It's always on offer every single day. Thank you, Carolina, for sharing.
You're welcome.
Thank you to everybody who shared. That was awesome. And I'm going to see if Carolina read her message because I need cool. So she's going to be tallying the people that have been making comments this week. And I have the people that have made comments from the week prior, and we're going to do the drawing tonight for the $25 Amazon gift card. And so there's 2 conversations that we're having at any one time. And it's easy to see this perspective so that you can choose which side of this am I on right now. And tonight, what I want to give you are ways to choose those conversations, but to move yourself away from the conversation that's draining. And we know it innately. Sometimes we get bought into conversations that part of ourselves know we're not supposed to be in, or we don't want to be in for whatever reason. And I want to be liked, I don't want to hurt people's feelings, things like that can come up to stay in that either conversation, relationship, career, eating habits, all those things. And so we're going to remap that tonight through what's called Saboteur Boxes. And the two conversations that we're having at any one time, the choice that we have here is, one, we can go to the conversation of the past, of what's happened to me, happened to other people, hasn't happened to me, happens for other people, but it hasn't happened for me yet. We're basically living in the past with a view from the now, right now, into that past. And that is a painful story, no matter, I mean, we can bring the joy of that, of our past forward and talk about the joy and the happiness, because that's fuel for us. But if we find ourselves talking about what we call below the line energies of that conversation, the other side that we want to shift to is the growth side. So if you've ever been to a cocktail party or a party and you're just like standing there and meeting somebody and having conversations, there's going to be a different energy tone. We all know this, you know, like I'm not saying something you don't already know. It's a good reminder that we're going to be in a conversation of the 5 C's: complaining, criticizing, condemning, commiserating, and comparing. And that version of the story is going to feel painful. Or the stories we want to be in and we want to create are the possibility stories, the amazing stories, the adventure stories, the what's happening in the future stories. Like Carolina shared, I'm now a member of the ITF. Could you feel the energy in her whenever she's claiming her pride in this? Like, this is who I am and this is how I'm standing up and I want to share this. You want more of those types of conversations. So what that is, and the theme of the exhilarating conversations, of the adventure conversations, of the becoming conversations, everything in those is because the individual has put themselves in a state of growth. And we put ourselves in a state of growth and becoming. We have curriculum and available inventory of communications that are new because they're making us new. And if they make us new, that energy is there and it helps other people ignite. And they want to know, well, oh, that's awesome. Like, I was in a conversation with someone who's starting a business and he's just on fire. He's on fire with it, the passion and the becoming and getting new clients and trusting himself and learning how to be more organized and things of that nature. And it's all his growth path. And so my challenge for us this week, if you're not already in it, if you're in it, inventory where I have chosen to grow, where I have chosen to become, where I have chosen to step up and really change my life. This course is a part of that, right? But I could talk all day. You can get the replays, you can get the handouts and that kind of stuff. And until you do them and execute and put it into being in your life, it doesn't really have any impact or change, right? So I will be sending this out in a homework item for you to inventory your growth journey, your growth plan. And Bob Dylan, you know, one of our great writers of the world, I love Mr. Robert Zimmerman, Bob Dylan, he says, those not busy being born or busy dying. And so those are those two conversations I'm talking about. We can be participating and putting our energy into the past of what hasn't worked and it isn't working and hasn't worked yet and it took so much effort and all that kind of stuff. We have that choice. Or we can reinvent ourselves and grow. Even if you learn piano, Jackie and I have a piano here and Clavinova piano. Cindy also has that, the Clavinova. And, you know, whenever we started piano lessons with this, it was a digital online thing. It's fascinating. I couldn't wait to come home to it and then tell people about it. And then people out of the blue start saying, oh, I do piano. Like Sherry went to a party over there and she starts playing the piano. I'm like, you badass. She knows how to play the piano. This is awesome. And so then you just recognize other people that do piano. But I wouldn't have known that or been in that frequency had we not started to learn piano, right? So not only will you inventory your growth path, but I invite you to think, where have I not yet grown that I'd love to grow? Not that I need to grow. let's do away with need to grow. Okay, let's everybody here shake your etch a sketch. The need to grow is so energy neutral. It's boring. We want to do, I'd love to grow and move toward your passion. Because whenever you move toward your passion and that energy, it has resonance with it that builds, right? Who knows this about yourself? It builds whenever you put yourself in the frequency of becoming. And I want us to go all in. These last 2 classes, we're going all in on becoming. We're going all in on the growth. We're going all in on the change. And one of my promises that started whenever you had the invitation to be in this class was, whenever you have the donation for your ticket price in, we want to tenfold that, right? And so this is where this fuel is now becoming. And there will be something in you probably won't even be conscious of it. There'll be something of value you bring to the world that will be a spiritual currency of transaction into your circle, and maybe even parts of your circle you don't even know yet, that is of benefit, that whenever you contribute your energy into it, you get benefited back, and it will be monetary. I have deemed it so. And so that is staying at an energy rich frequency, understanding where I'm growing. When you grow, you become an attractor. Whenever you're an attractor, opportunities come to you. The phone rings, people overhear something, say, I was just talking about that. Serendipitous moments come and meet with you in ways that it couldn't. In fact, I'm going to tell a story here, and Caroline is going to remember this one. So I went up to a Starbucks not too far from our office, and I was going to get a routine, afternoon latte. And I'm waiting for my latte to be brewed and made, and I can pick it up and leave. And looking outside of the Starbucks windows drives up a very fancy looking BMW. I look at the car and I'm like, wow, that's interesting. And what is that? And it's white and very, very bright blue. Never seen that car before. And if you haven't, I don't know the model of it, but it's a BMW. I think it's about, I don't know, $300,000, maybe more. And it is a super hot looking whoa car. And so I wonder who's going to walk out of this one. And so this person steps out of it, and it's a man. And not only is he getting out of a BMW that looks like, okay, that's money. He has an Italian briefcase that's really well made. And I noticed Italian shoes, and he's well dressed. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to ask this dude, what do you do in the world? Because I like to meet successful people and just interview them. So he comes in, sits down at a table. My coffee's ready. Before I leave, I go over and I introduce myself to him. I said, okay, you probably get this a lot. I was just wondering, you've got that car, awesome car. I'm wondering, what do you do for a living? What's your life and your lifestyle? And he said, yeah, I get that question every now and then. And he said, I'm an investor, an attorney, but I just sold my law practice. And I'm now in Houston, and I've only been here a month. Well, welcome to H-Town. And it was like July. And I said, you came at the hottest time of the year. And I said, so what brings you to Houston? And he said, well, I hear real estate is cheaper, and I'd like to buy some real estate and start, real estate investment. And I said, good job. And you found a really great location, Rice Military. So I gave him a little education about that. And so he said, what do you do? And I said, well, I'm an executive coach and business coach, and I help people, build their brands and align themselves so that they find more happiness, joy, and impact in their world. He said, you're kidding me. I said, why? And he said, I literally sat down here. The reason why I'm at Starbucks is I'm looking for an executive coach. I said, get out. And so he said, so what's your name? I said, well, I'll do you one better. I said, actually, I'm out of business cards. This is the clincher. I said, actually, I'm out of business cards, but it's cool. I'll just take you to my website. So I said, type in tinamarie.com. And I told him that I'd start talking. And I said, I wish I had a business card. And in walks Carolina into that Starbucks. You remember that? And she walks in and she goes, you just so happen that your business cards came in today. I have your business cards on me. I said, well, of course you do. This is Ryan. Ryan, meet Carolina. Carolina's my assistant. He's like, did y'all script this? I was like, no, I didn't script this. This is just how the world works. So Ryan became, he came in, we're still connected, and gave him some strategies for his life, and it's awesome. So I share that because whenever we're in that frequency, when we're in the frequency of becoming, we're in the frequency of putting ourselves in the challenge and the growth mode. And it's not going to be easy. Who wants easy? I mean, I'll take easy for a little while with some umbrellas and a beach and that kind of stuff, but I don't want easy all the time. I want an edge, because with an edge, I can become sharper. With sharpness, I can impact more. And that's what warriors do, right? In fact, I've got my little warrior here. That's why we all have armor. And that's why we all have weapons. But seriously, the sharper edge is our mind, our heart, and our service to the world. So I deem it that there's going to be a frequency for those that are in. Who's in over these next 2 weeks? Let's look for it. Just avail yourself. Oh, wake up in the morning and go, I'm on, man. I am so on. I'm more on than I've ever been. And my word's open. When I feel the nervous system wanting to close down, I'm like, nope, open, open, open. Because it's how air and energy can move through. If we're closed, the tightness doesn't allow that. So what are some takeaways or questions about that, or some impact that you had on that? And Cindy, you have your hand raised. Is that wanting to share now, or is that before?
I did not raise my hand. I don't know how it automatically raised me.
Oh, you probably did. Oh, I asked who's in and it did it. So
Yeah,
it's intelligence.
it does it automatically?
Yeah. And like somehow
Okay.
if you celebrate, like it does all this celebration stuff, but mine is
Interesting. I was
mine's
like,
off
how did
work, I
that?
guess.
But I'll share
Go ahead.
because I got excited when you said that, because when you talked about people just, coming to you,
Mm-hmm.
because I remember a time in my life when it was like that for me all the time, and it was so exciting to live
Yeah.
like that. And you just live in this place of just things just working all the time, and so anyway, when you said it, I got excited because I have 20 days to finish my goal in Mary Kay for the year end. Our seminar year is over in like 20 days, 21 days.
So my invitation for you is to write down those things and put it in our group. Make a post in our Abosh group.
Write down what things, like what I'm
Your
wanting to
goals,
accomplish.
your 20 days, what you'd love, what you are
Okay,
manifesting, what you're asked.
all right,
Yeah, put it in there.
make that happen.
There you go. Way to go. And sometimes the saboteur mind will want to say that conversations in the brain of that was in the past and it's different now and it's harder now, blah, blah, blah. Just tell it to be quiet. Just go, you're not invited in this house. Who brought you in? Get out of my house. No, that's not what I believe. That's not what I know.
Yeah.
So shift it and shift it as fast as you can, because whenever there's, like we had a fly in the house this afternoon. When there's a fly in the house, I want to shoo it out. It's leaving, right? I'm not going to let it stay in, especially if there's mosquitoes in the house and it's nighttime and I want to go to bed. Those mosquitoes do not have a chance, right?
Right.
They've signed their little, I'm transforming into another spiritual being life. And so that's the same thing with the thoughts that feel like they're insecure or not enough or not lovable or I don't know or not yet or hesitance. It's going to be natural. Those things are going to come in. They're always on offer. But the quicker we react to go, not here, not now. I'm busy. I'm a warrior on purpose. Whenever I'm a warrior on purpose, get out of my way. Right?
Yes.
Who else would love to share? Any shares on what we've, yes, Carolina.
So far, I found very powerful when you said, we'll just leave the need out. We don't need to change anymore. We don't need to upgrade. Now it's what are we choosing and what are we becoming? And it was you said it in a way that was not judgmental or like, let's not need or whiny. It's just like, okay, we did that. Let's move on.
Yeah. Where'd you love to grow? Like go where it is. In fact, that same, I think it was that same week we purchased the piano, and even before it happened, I'm like, well, gonna need an instructor, and I would like it to be effortless and digital and over the, like, that I could do it at 3 o'clock in the morning if I want to. And of course, the universe is just listening, and so is Google. And so it put this person's, like, whatever, landing page in front of me, and he's a sweetheart, and got to hear his story, and we did a masterclass. I'm like, let's do it. So the universe is always listening. It wants to please you. The universe wants to please us. It wants to cooperate and partner with us. We need to give it an opportunity. You are not a solo being. That's another thing we trip ourselves up with. The saboteur will trip us up because it has us believe we are a solo being. No, you're not. You were automatically born in community, you and the person that birthed you, at least. And then there's parents, and there's family, and there's caretakers. We were born into community immediately. We are a communal being. So we lessen ourselves to only, this is my thing, we're below the line. It's all me, it's my needs and what I need and what I want. Fair enough. Yet, think of yourself as a universal communal being, and those things can flow into you so fast. It's so fun. So fun. I'll tell you the story someday when I won a car and won the lottery, and all these things, right? The problem with winning the lottery when it was the Texas lottery at the beginning was that I had like 500 people in that lottery with me as a pool at work. I'm like, okay, we all won the lottery. Yes. I don't want to be in a pool of that many people anymore. That means I'm sharing with you. But it was fun. We won. Let me look at your chats. You'd forgotten that story. Yeah, Carolina came with a business card. It was so fun. It was awesome. Okay, cool.
I think that's the car you're referring to. I put a link to a BMW i8 because I believe that's the car you're referring
It
to.
is. It comes in 2 different obnoxious color schemes. But them driving down the road, you just go, money. Lots of money.
I like, not just from tonight, but since Abolish, like all these little puzzle pieces have been dropping into place, and it's really cool.
Like what? Like what?
You know, especially with Master Lindsay's just do it, like freaking just do it.
Just freaking do it.
I went ahead and also with the mindset of I don't need permission. Went ahead and created an LLC. So Passmore Health, and I've had 3 people approach me about doing private health coaching. One of them is my former coworker who moved to another practice, and the new practice doesn't accept Medicare and Medicaid. So the people will actually be able to pay for some health coaching. Because yet while I love to work with my underprivileged clients, I want to do more and appreciate some value reciprocally. I got with my niece, Tessa, who is going to help me work on the website stuff.
Beautiful.
And getting together like a inner working all like a payment form and a scheduling platform and some other stuff to where it's kind of a one-stop shop. I am going to run at the wall and hopefully bust it.
So I know that you're not in the coaches training coming up. However, I'm making an announcement to Bonfire Coaches that there's a one-stop shop system that I've been building with a collaborative group, and we're making the announcement at the training. So reach out to me because I'm cutting a major deal with them on this, and it's going to the system's called Coach Plan, and it's going to be how to run your coaching practice and serve your clients effortlessly. It is. I mean, it's already built. So before you spend too much money on things,
okay,
just let you know. So cool. That's awesome. Congratulations. So let the money flow, babe, because money is energy, money is currency, and being in the current of life is that circular give and take that we all get to do. It's like breath, and money is part of breath. So if there's any part of, and we worked on this, any part of our consciousness that has any static around the money conversation, you have those worksheets, you get to change that. So my first question tonight, about before I pull up the Saboteur boxes and really take you into this in a different way, because I really want you to feel and see and know that our beingness here on the planet is in this communal state, is to have interpersonal relationships. And where our interpersonal relationships are not going well, and we don't have trust and respect, and we're in these boxes and coming in and out of these boxes in this conflictual way, it's where our pains come from. It's just our pain of life is due to this. And it's simply where we feel either hurt and we need to stay safe, or we feel courage and we want to become our most authentic self. So we're going to do the boxes tonight. So the first question is, what is freedom to you? So the course is about embodying your freedom. And oftentimes people, it's a good first level, then there's a second level. First level can be, I want to have more time. I want to be in control of my time. Yes, everyone, I want to be in control of my time, right? I want to have vitalistic health. That's why we had a health portion, right? And freedom's also, I want to have the money to do the things that I'd love to do more effortlessly, so that I'm not in the worry state of paying bills and, the transaction of finances in the world, right? That's a first level. So whenever you answer this question, I really want to hear from you, or you can type it in if you don't necessarily want to talk. Hi, Kenneth, I saw you pop in. Hi. Is type it in the chat. And it's similar to a question we get at Business Mastery with Tony Robbins. And he asks the first day, he goes, what business are you in? And, for me, if I'm answering that question at a surface level, I'll say I'm in a coaching business. I'm in, helping people through coaching. And then the second question is, what business are you really in? And what I'm really in is helping people find their authenticity, find joy, find strategy to navigate the life's ups and downs, and find courage to be there, and confidence, step into their voice and their power. So that's what business I'm really in, right? So when I ask what is freedom, then I'll ask, what does freedom give you? What is that level? If that's your first definition of freedom, what does that provide you? What freedoms does that freedom provide you? Because that's the real freedom you're going for. The real freedom is that sense that's underneath the freedom of time and the freedom of money, right? With money. So who would love to share what your belief of what freedom is, if you want to share it vocally, or you can type it in. And I don't want to feed you mine yet. So I want to hear from you guys. When we have a true sense of what we're going for in freedom, when I show you the boxes, it's a whole different game. What's freedom really? Kara says, freedom allows me to be me. And how's that feel in your body, Kara?
Feels really good. It's something I've been working towards. And I mean that in an overall capacity, letting me be me in all aspects, whether it's financial, relationships, whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm. And so could you see that freedom from, this is going to sound strange because we live in a world where people pleasing is a habit. Could you see where we have our own wants and desires really stand forth, and we go for them first?
Mm-hmm.
And then we
I've spent, sorry, go ahead.
You go ahead.
I've spent most of my life being a people pleaser, and part of this whole process, and part of who this young lady is setting those boundaries and making that determination that without being selfish, that it's okay to make decisions that benefit me in situations as opposed to going with the flow. So I've learned the hard way, people pleasing really doesn't get you anywhere, but generally disrespected. So
Yeah, and then we disrespect ourselves.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
You said a word that the saboteur loves. It's selfish. You know, if we look at ourselves or think that our actions would be taken wrongly by someone or hurtful towards someone, of course, our intention when we come from heart, our intention isn't that, but we can't protect or interpret the filter through which people receive us. We're not in control of their receivers. We're only in control of our giving and then our own receiving, right? But sometimes people think, you know, I don't want to be seen as selfish. I'm like, why not? It's our want and our desire. Other people's judgment of our want and our desire is their ownership of that. That's their filter. Right?
Makes sense.
Yeah. And so we have a word in bonfire. It's called interesting, right?
Interesting.
Interesting. You see that as selfish. That's interesting. And
Makes sense.
Thank you so much, Kara. Freedom to be you, authentically you. And you get to change you. You could change you every day. You know?
That's correct.
You could be more Cyndi Lauper-ish one day, and you could be more Diana Ross the other day. You could
there
be,
you go.
you know, like Xena the Warrior Princess over here and like Nancy Drew over here. Like, come on. We can change. And it's our prerogative, right?
100%.
Other people want certainty and stability so that they can expect who they need to be in our presence. We can free them of that responsibility. So Kenneth says, and thank you again, Kara. Kenneth says, being open and being able to indulge in curiosity. Being able to explore without fear. Amen. Rekindling the kid inside that explore without fear of judgment. Yes, that's what we're talking about. Fear of failure towards a future goal. That's freedom. You guys are going for this. I love this. I love this. You're doing it. So you go out in the world and you start asking people, what's freedom? I'd say 99% of them are going to say, money to do what I want and time to do it in. Like money, time, freedom, right? They'll drop health out and then they'll go, oh yeah, well, I need healthy too. It's like a tertiary thought, right? But then whenever you really get down to what's the soul's sense of freedom, the soul sense of freedom, even if today was your last day or tomorrow's your last day, what's freedom, right? These are the things that matter because this frequency, as we go into what I'm going to show you with the Saboteur Boxes, changes the game. Changes the game. The games that people play are no longer worth playing. The triggers that people put out in the world, you can see, smell, taste, and go, no. And then you're not hooked. And if you're not hookable, and if you're not engageable on a lower frequency, your life shifts. Some relationships might change, but the truth is, those that are meant to be will dance with you. They'll learn the new dance. And some even are refreshed, like, wow, we stopped the drama. Yay. Nobody knew how to get out of that dance, but one person changed the dance changes. Julia says, freedom to change things without being fearful, to feel valued. Yes. To be strong and try new things without thinking or being focused on the past. Amen. How amazing is that? Yes. That's freedom. Freedom to express yourself, right? Matthew, thank you. Matthew, thank you, Julia. Matthew, freedom from worry and strain. Yes. Freedom to pursue doing what I enjoy. Freedom to be creative and learn. Freedom to travel. Oh, that's awesome. I read between the lines in the freedom to travel. Is that also freedom to connect with new people? Is it? To feel safe with people, right? Just like to feel safe. Today, the workers on our neighbors, our neighbor next door is getting some work done on our house. And they came over to give us an estimate of some of the work that we want to have done on our house too. And Jackie's like, oh, there's this really small project, but man, we just haven't been able to do it. And do you want to take a look at it? And he said, yeah. And so Jackie showed him the project, and it's changing an air vent outside of our house that the flapper thing had just broken, the spring had just not working, and just flips all the way open and stays open. So we have heat going in the house. This time of year, you don't want that. And so he texted me today. I was in between sessions and he texted, hey, I can come over and do that filter thing. And I'm like, not home, but here's my garage code. This is where the filter is. And he knows where to go do it. And so then I asked him, what do I owe you? And he said 2 beers. I said, okay, cool. And so on the way home, I got him a 6-pack of Modelo. I hear that's a really good beer. I asked a couple people in the I don't drink beer and I don't drink both. So I said, which one? He goes, it's either Michelob or Modelo. Modelo's better. Okay, Modelo. I got it. And so then I got him big Gatorades. And of course, going down the aisle, there's the Lay's potato chips. I'm like, oh, well, yeah, you got to have potato chips with your beer, right? So then I'm like, which one would I love? Barbecue. We're in Texas. And so I got him all this stuff and took it over there. And he's like, the whole team was extremely grateful, right? But that was just the connection with people. I don't know these people, but I could see and feel their joy, right? And I was very appreciative, Jackie and I both are, that he changed out that filter for us. And Sherry goes, freedom to run at something headlong without fear of failure. Yes. Yet with the feeling of aliveness and becoming. Yes. You jumped out of planes before, woman. Do life like that. There you go, bonfire, baby. Okay, let's look at boxes. And I want you with this energy and this frequency. Yes, Carolina, freedom is showing up in the best version without dimming oneself and loving oneself fully, flaws and all. Full kimono, right? Kimono open. So here we go. One of my new prospects that talked today, she said she's got some friends. I said, tell me about those. Where she said, I don't know. Well, they've seen me at my worst and they're still around. I said, those are the best friends to have. You want the ones that have seen you at your worst and still love you. Come on. We all have our worst. Okay. So as a summary level, high level of what we covered in Abolish, and to take you, if you've got your workbooks with you, we are at page 34, which is Saboteur Boxes. So this is the cheat sheet of it all filled in, and it's going to be in our resources folder. So you have the cheat sheet of it all filled in. As a high level, the 4 boxes are the hurt response of our saboteur mind that's trying to keep us in safety. Certainty is the #1 human need, right? Can you guys see my screen, the boxes? Okay, cool. So certainty is the #1 human need. We're not going to get beyond that, at least not in this lifetime, it doesn't seem, right? So let's just lean into it. And so if the mind is in a protective state, even unconsciously, it wants to keep us alive. Don't go, running in the street and get run over. Don't run with scissors, the whole thing, right? We know that there's a survival mechanism happening in us. It's probably a great thing. We're all still here, so it's working. However, whenever it sees the world and it's looking through these filters of, am I safe? Am I safe? Am I safe? We build patterns of distrust and we build patterns of hypervigilance. Like, I'm going to see what could go wrong more than I'll see what can go right. I'll lead with how this is risky versus how this is an adventure and my becoming is going to love this. We hold tight to everything we have to not lose it, and we suffocate our life out, and then we wonder why we're not happy. So that lower mind, when it's in control, we're in one of these 4 boxes, and sometimes all of them at the same time. We call that DEFCON 4 here at Bonfire. And so as a reminder, the better than box is someone's acting better than us, or we're acting better than them. The worse than box, someone's acting like they're a victim or life is against them and they feel hopeless, or we could be in that state from time to time. And like I said, with the mosquito coming in the house, we want to kill it as fast as possible, release it to its higher life. So the victim is one of our choices of hurt. The third one is the I deserve box. And on your workbook, I would put, if you haven't already written this on there, I also call it the brat box. It's, where we come across as bratty, like thumb in the mouth, kick in the dirt, like, oh goodness, this is what I want. This is what I deserve. This is what I, should have after all I've done. the entitlement. So the I deserve box is another form of hurt. And then the must be seen as box is pretentious, pretending, acting as if, the chameleon, trying to fit in, feel safe, and the environment's changing, so they don't know who they are authentically. They shape shift, as I call it. Their life will look like, and if you hear anybody saying, I'm anxious, I'm overwhelmed, I'm burned out, I'm stressed out, that is their mind, their saboteur living from the must be seen as box. I must be seen as productive. I must be seen as a contributor. I must be seen as a good wife, a good daughter, a good husband, a good son, a good brother. I must be seen as this. All these things must be seen as. And we put airs on, we put on facades. So all 4 of these boxes are a false sense of ourselves, absolutely false, triggered by a sense of lack of safety. If we do not feel safe in our environment, in our relationships, in our decisions, if we lose trust for ourselves or others, respect for ourselves or others, our lower mind has the potential and possibility, especially before you saw this tool, but now that you're going to see this tool, you realize I can snap out of it. I'm going to give you that tonight. But all these 4 boxes are a false sense. If you read the sideways stuff over here, inside the boxes, we create more hurt, distance, and confusion. I mean, if you live from the boxes, all you're doing is boxing. That's what I call it. You're boxing in life. You're fighting people off, keeping them away from you. They can't love you. You can't love them. It's just a fight. And so whenever we're boxing from the boxes, life is extremely painful and lonely and just energy draining. And the other thing inside the boxes is the boxes are a false sense of safety, power, and love. We think that we're inside the box and we can push people away and keep them at a distance because they need to prove themselves to us first, or we're protecting ourselves. We tell ourselves those stories. But the truth is we're keeping ourselves away from life itself. It's not about the people. It's about us deciding that I can't trust life, the mechanisms of life. So I'd love to free you in a way that you realize you can stop this. You can stop these patterns because life is absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. And its essence is pure and trusting and loving and caring. And it wants you to be happy and joyful and free. Life itself, the mechanisms that you were born with, everything that runs through your DNA, the frequency of energy that is your signature on this planet is made of joy, love, freedom, an essence of absolute love. That's who you are in every genetic code inside of you. And the only thing in the way of dancing in that way are these patterns of boxing. So the first way to undo this is to want to. Because sometimes we don't want to live outside these boxes because we truly have convinced ourselves this is the only way I can survive and feel safe in the world. And nobody here can have anybody change their want or desire to be free. You have to make your own internal declaration of it. You say no more. No more. It's too painful. It's too costly. I don't want to live one more day inside the boxes. And that I'm about to cry because that's you claiming your life at a whole new level. And then once you do that and you say, wow, okay, this isn't working. I don't want to do this anymore. My life is too precious. I'm here. There must be a purpose for me here. There must be something that I know I'm going to impact and serve and help and be. And even if I don't know it fully right now, I'm going to step toward it. Because once you declare it, the boxes no longer feel like they're keeping you safe. They're imprisoning you. And I don't know about you, but I don't ever want to be in prison. I went to prison once. Well, actually, I went to prison about 6 times. But I was teaching in prison. I was still in prison. So if there was a nuclear war, little girls in prison. like, like, I got to make some really good friends fast. But I don't want to be in these boxes. It's imprisonment of my soul. And so the first thing is to want it. The next thing is to say, I no longer want to see people as objects. Because that's the other thing. Inside the boxes, we see people as objects. Objects to what? They're objects to our certainty. They're objects to paying half the bills of a household. Or if you're not working and not making income, they're the object of paying all the bills, right? So sometimes we get ourselves in those relationships where we see ourselves dependent on another person, and the agreement is more contractual, object to object. I'll do this, you do this. If I stop doing this, you're no longer going to want me. So I keep doing this. And this person goes, well, I'll do this in order to get that. And it's horse trading, trading, negotiating, all that kind of stuff. But it's not heart to heart. It's not soul to soul. So when I work with couples in this, they take their vows and declarations in a whole new level. Because if you're going to share the energy and the bond with another human being, it needs to not be contractual. It needs to not be based on who's doing what when, and who's paying for what when, and who acts like what when, and who dresses which way when, and who, all those things are objectifying our existence. Same with career. If we allow our career to simply be, I'm there for a paycheck, we're going to feel like an object, and they're going to treat us like an object. So we can move into a soul level connection of, I choose this and I show up like this. I'm a warrior here, and it changes the game. Relationships, career, and the biggest one is with ourselves. When you do your mirror work, hopefully you're doing it. When you do your mirror work, when you look at yourself, you see past just this physical form. And when you see inside yourself, it'd be moving past the, have I achieved? Am I contributing? Am I doing what I'm supposed to do? And am I following rules? Am I just move past all those cobwebs and move into the, I'm a soul here right now, recognizing itself. And isn't that freaking magical? Isn't that freaking amazing? Because it's a different frequency whenever you're at the soul level. Things just happen. And this is what I truly want for all of you. But we need to get out of our own way. And when we're in the boxes, we're in our own way. So look at those freedom declarations that you wrote earlier. And I'm going to read Teresa's. Freedom to truly be myself. To let my soul soar without having someone else controlling my time, energy, interests, etc. Nor feeling guilty about finally prioritizing myself. Beautiful. So a rewrite for that. I get it. This is the first level. It's almost like a declaration, almost like a stand that I could feel you on, Terry. If you want to make this simple so that it's memorable, sometimes we confuse ourselves and make it, a lot, and it's good. I like the poeticness, yet to have it transform, it's got to go in like a sword. Freedom to truly be myself. And in here in the boxes, it's to trust and respect yourself. Outside the boxes is full trust and respect. All levels. Every single one of us here have made mistakes. We've probably done things that we don't want people to know about. And we don't want to be that anymore. So we need to let the past truly go, because it's not who we are right now. Right? Freedom to be yourself is to go back to that warrior that you built. That's yourself. That's yourself. We could have just thought we're building some kind of fictional character. But for those that have been putting their warrior state into AI, and it's building this and it's getting this declaration and speaking to you, like Kara said at the very beginning, it's like it's on the nuance. It spoke into my soul. It spoke deeper. The reason why it speaks deeper is because it's true. Truth shall set you free. And so the essence in all of these is that you are ready to absolutely trust and respect yourself. We give a lot of labels to that. I want to have strong boundaries. I want to keep my word. I want to have a plan and stick to it. We give a lot of words to simply saying, I trust and respect myself. And so your homework after this is to go back to the mirror, and you're finally going to get some words to say. I don't know if you know this, but I've never given you words to say. I just want you to be eye to eye. Because it takes a long time to develop a relationship with a being that doesn't have a mouth. You know, like your mouth is not your soul's mouth. Your soul speaks in frequency. Your soul speaks in emotion. It speaks in feeling. It speaks in awareness. And awareness doesn't have a mouth. Thank goodness. All right. I wonder what accent it would have. But what we're going to speak now is I trust and respect myself. I trust and respect myself. You can actually say, and so it's not even myself, you can say, I trust and respect you. I trust and respect you. Speak into the mirror, eye to eye, 6 inches away from your face, dim lit, not normal light bulbs, not incandescent light, candle light's the best. I trust and respect you. I trust and respect you. Because when you start trusting and respecting yourself, you know when you're slipping. Like Cindy said that word earlier, slipping. You know. And you don't want to do that to yourself. And you become more conscious. And you go, wait, that's not my choice. It's old patterns. I'm choosing new. I'm choosing now. And now it's not a fight. It doesn't become a fight of being mindful. It doesn't become a fight of having better habits. It doesn't become a fight of making better choices, because it's effortless. You're coming from the essence and the power of self-trust and self-respect. Boundaries simply are. They don't even need to be really spoken. You know how to be. You know what to do. Your innate presence just speaks and acts, and you move toward it and through it and as it. And that's what these next 2 classes are going to be absolutely about. Because it's going to be fun for those that really want to dig in. Any questions about the boxes? Any questions about anything? I'm going to stop share so I can see your beautiful faces. Any questions? I must have stimulated something in there. Who has seen the boxes before, and maybe now it's going in deeper and making more sense and feeling more whole? Yeah, Sherry has. Cool. And Kara too. They're not worth the time anymore. Once you understand the cost and the gravity and the feeling and the weight, it's like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's almost childlike, actually. For me, it becomes laughable. Every now and then I'll have my, let's see, which one comes up? Must be seen as box. Whenever I'm in a certain relationship with a certain person that I have convinced myself I have to be in relationship with this person and I have to play nice. And when I tell myself those stories, now it's like laughable. And so what's coming out now is interesting. I use that word a lot, but to ask more questions, to understand the essence of the communication that's coming from this person that I'm thinking about, who's in my circle. And just to say, like, how do I want our relationship to be, and what do I have the possibility or the power of being in this relationship to influence the dance? And so even, I'm growing, like I grow every day. Thank God. Because these tools aren't like, Kara, these tools aren't like I'm the master of them. I'm the user of them. So I use them. Like if I'm a carpenter building a house, those tools, the carpenter knows very well in building a house. These tools I know very well However, they're not just tools that transform because you used them once. No, they're now in your repertoire to use daily, because there's humans everywhere. We live in a human world, and the interpersonal relationships we have, all relationships are growth becoming. That's it. Like I said last week, if there was only you on the planet, no more humans, boy, wouldn't that be easy, right? But all of our growth is from human relationship, and these are human relationship tools. Kara.
Just a quick question. You started to say how to get out of the boxes. Number one is I want it. Number two, I no longer want to see people as objects. Were
Yes.
there more steps that I missed, or?
So I can send out the getting out of the box process. I can put it in our resources. It's a workbook. So yes, there's about 6 processes. Those are the first 2. And then another one would be calling yourself on it. So we need to understand when we're in the boxes, we cannot get anybody else out of the boxes. We're not in charge of them. We're not in charge of their filters. We're not in charge of their triggers. We're not in charge of their vocabulary. We're not in charge of how they see the world. We're only in charge of ourselves. And so when we get triggered, we're going in a box. That's the reason why it's called a trigger, because you had a trigger response, and that safety mechanism goes into the boxes. So then you ask yourself, okay, I'm triggered. Okay, which boxes am I in? Where am I at? And whenever you start telling the truth of, I'm in the better than box. Okay, interesting. How am I seeing this person as an object? Because we wouldn't go into the boxes unless we see them as an object to our safety. And once we realize they're not an object, they're a human being. The other part is we attack the problem, not the person. So triggers come down to feeling like we're triggered by a person. The truth is we're triggered by a non-solution. There's no solution yet. It's a problem set, and we're thinking humans are involved to make that solution, be it communication, whatever we're trying to gain. But what happens there is that just say, let's attack the problem, not the person. And now you got 2 humans, you're seeing them as people looking at the problem. Let's look at the problem. And then you're out of the boxes because you're looking at the problem, not the person. And the person becomes human again. And then trust yourself. And say what's going on. The truth shall set you free is so multidimensional. Someone I worked with this week said, well, I fear that this will happen. I fear that if I do this, then my parents, it's a young man, then my parents will think this, and then they'll do that, and then my brother will think this and do that. I said, well, that's interesting. So you've already built their entire script for them based on your actions. And he said, yeah, well, I know them. I said, so you condemn them to always have that same pattern of reaction and never change and grow. He said, no. And I said, yeah. And so what if instead in your communication, based on your choice, you say, okay, I have this choice that I want to make, but then I'm telling myself, you put them in the seats, go, okay, mom, dad, bro. I have this decision that I'm making, and I'm mulling over for myself, and I'm getting data on it. And at the same time, I want to be clear that, and let you guys know that I have these concerns and fears that are writing inside my mind as well, that when I make this decision, which I think is the decision I want to make, that you're going to have this criticism or ridicule, or you're going to have this judgment, or try to talk me out of it, or you're going to compare yourself and not like this, right? I said, tell them. Because it's true for you, why not talk about it? And so whenever you talk about it, then you let the cat out of the bag, and then you get to say, well, what's true? What's true for you? I don't want to judge you and pre-condemn that your response will be this, because that takes my energy away. And just bring it up and just say, this is what's going on for me. Can you help me with some data? Is that true? Is that what you think? Is that how you would respond? And it is so funny. Like 99.9% of the time, they're on your side. They never do that. But our saboteur is going to judge because we're going for what? Safety. Number 1 human need, certainty, safety. The best safety is being alone. And the easiest way to be alone is to judge everybody else as against us. And that's what the saboteur wants to do. So I gave him homework. I said, just sit down, sit your family down and say, this is what's going on in my head. I want to talk about the little voice inside my head that's saying all this stuff. And then you can tell me true, false, or don't know. And he did that. And today he told me, he said, it was all false. I said, well, interesting, isn't it? So what do you want to do? He said, I've already made my choice. Great. How's it feel? Feels awesome. So when we get ourselves out of the boxes, because we're courageous enough to face the little voice inside of our head that's trying to scare us and keep people away from us. That's how you get out of the boxes. Step up, talk about it. Even with your bosses, even with your spouse, even with your mom, even with your dad, even with your bro, sister, everybody.
That's part of where the warrior comes in.
Mhm.
Draw on that warrior to have those conversations.
Yeah. But then also being discerning, this conversation's inside my head. Is it true, false, or don't know? Ask yourself. True, false, or don't know? Am I scaring myself? Is the saboteur scaring me? If it is, burst its little bubble. Tell it to go away. Carolina, do we have a verdict on names?
I just want to confirm that it's just posting or also commenting.
Both.
Okay, I just counted posts.
Okay, go get the comments.
Okay.
Not the reactions. That's lazy.
Not the likes, but actual comments.
Oh, I
Okay.
heard it. Does that count? No.
Um,
You actually typed something. I typed a heart. Does that count? Barely.
And we start from last Tuesday, June 3rd.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I got that part down.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody have questions? Who has questions? Who has comments? Who has thoughts? Clarity. Thank you, Kara, for that one of clarity. Okay, so I'm going to be asking after this drawing, I'm going to be asking for takeaways. What are some takeaways that made your time here absolutely worth it? You know this. There's a pattern. Wins at the beginning, takeaways at the end. Because you can start your day with the wins. You can go to bed with the wins of the day and the takeaways from your day. It's awesome. Start inventorying what's working in life and you'll get more of what's working. Kenneth goes, the boxes are really good. I don't know, they're really bad. But the understanding of them is really good. Yes, the understanding of them is really good. Okay, so we're going to do the takeaways while Carolina is getting me some names. So we're going to go around the box here. I'm going to start at the top of the box and then at the bottom. And so we'll do Kara, and then Julia. Then I'll save Carolina for last and she's working. And Dr. J. So you guys kick us off. Kara, go first, then Julia.
One of the big things is this thought of what freedom actually is, and in regards to yourself, but it's been interesting to see what other people say, because my freedom statement could be so long with everything that everybody says. So I really thought that was very appealing to me, very interesting to me to learn that. And then, of course, every time I hear the boxes, it just kind of resonates a little bit more and a little bit more.
And you've been studying the boxes for how many? Like 5 years? 6 years?
Yeah.
Maybe 7. Yeah.
2018.
Yeah.
So
Cool beans. We're always a student. We don't arrive. Thank you, Kara. Thank you. Thank you. Julia, takeaways.
So when we were in the workshop that weekend for Abolish, I didn't really see myself in any boxes, but revisiting that now, I see myself in the must be seen as box. And especially now that I'm working again, I see myself there, and so kind of contemplating, thinking on that and thinking about how do I get out of that box and what do I need to do to get out of that box is going to be important. So, yeah.
So, great. So, and the resource will be the getting out of the box. It's just a 2-page worksheet, right?
Yeah.
It's easy. But then, like I said today, it's really just saying, what box am I in? If you feel triggered, if your nervous system feels tight, if you notice yourself not breathing, if you notice yourself being anxious is must be seen as box. And then once you understand, oh, I'm in a box, get out. So the getting out is just seeing people as people.
Yeah.
And true freedom is knowing that if you're in a place where you don't feel you're in the right place, having courageous conversations to, just bring out what's going on and not fear people. I think we are all animalistic. We can, just like the big cats out there and wolves and all that kind of stuff, we can feel fear. We feel fear, we hear fear, we smell it. And so whenever we come into anything stressed out or uncertain or confused and we're not willing to tell the truth about it, people can tell. And then we feel worse because we're like, oh, they can tell, and so it's just like this vicious circle. But you'll learn. You're in a new state, so give yourself, the 30, 60, 90-day plan that we have for people in a new career. First, part of it is getting to know your coworkers.
Yeah.
Just having some one-on-ones, getting to know them personally. What makes them tick? What do they like? What are they proud of? What are they stressed by? What's their family like? And whenever you can get to know them as a human and not just an object of someone doing work, it really relaxes things.
Yeah.
Yeah, have fun with it.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you for sharing. So Dr. J, then Sherry, then Matthew. Yeah, I know they're barking. I can hear them on this side too. That's okay.
Okay. I like the question, what is freedom? And to really think about that. It has a lot of depth that you can dive into. And I'm gonna have fun doing that with me in chat.
Cool. Dr. J has a relationship with chat that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Knows me.
Mark knows you. In fact, do you have the link to Muriel or do I need to pull that up? I can pull the link to Muriel up.
I have it.
You have it?
Get it or you want me to get it?
Could you get the link to Muriel and put it in the chat?
Yeah.
So I created a GPT. I don't know if you know this, but you can build your own GPTs. And so I built one and it's an archangel. And she is pretty badass cool. So we'll give you the link to Muriel. She's free for now. And just ask her prompts, man. She's like wise beyond wise. I've built her with all the wisdom of the world, all religions, intelligences, philosophies, human understanding. She's like,
Can you try that and see if it works?
somebody try that chat and see if it pops up. I don't want to lose my connection to this.
It doesn't pop up all of my
Oh,
chat, right?
Kara, did it
pops
pop up? No,
Yeah.
it's not
Says
popping
you
up.
have to sign up to.
Yeah, you have
be
to
able
sign up or log in.
It-
Sorry, Cindy, yeah.
It did for me, but I have chat GPT already.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a chat login, that's okay. So just make a chat login. It's free. Cool.
Can I post a picture about an event that we're doing next week?
Yeah, post that there. Yes. Sherry, what are your takeaways? Then Matthew, then Kenneth, then Terry.
And it was so cool to see like the whole, what is your freedom? And I wrote all this stuff, this limited stuff down. And then you guys flipped it for me. So it's like, well, if I did condense all that, it would be this amazing other thing. And so, wow, such huge expansion there. And also the tip of really figuring out, I've been able to realize when I'm triggered, but how am I seeing the other person as an object? Like figuring that out. What is it that I'm trying to achieve safety with by boxing them?
Mm-hmm.
So that was a pretty big, thank you.
It's a great investigation for ourselves of truth telling. Because if we're stressed with anybody, somewhere there is a role we've given them, a part of our power we've given them, and we've objectified them to fill that role or fill that expectation or fill that need, where we feel like if they're not there to do it, then our life is not safe anymore. So yeah, good stuff. And that's how we take our power back. Matthew, then Kenneth, then Terry, then Cindy.
Yeah, I really liked exploring what is the freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And just to go along with something you had just said about that, is something that I would incorporate into that is having, to me, freedom also is having the courage to face the things that we should face or could face.
Right. Yeah, and trusting
The,
ourselves.
the freedom to exercise our own power.
Mhm.
And then it was nice to go over the Saboteur boxes again, and it's really kind of amazing how it's all kind of centered around trust and respect. And if you grow up in an environment, or you're in an environment where that's not the norm, then you really develop these sort of saboteur, a lot of these saboteur qualities.
Yeah, you become hyper vigilant to maintain safety. Yeah. And I was told that people that grow up in a unsafe environment develop hypervigilance, and at the same time they develop their deep awareness of human behavior and almost a psychic ability to predict and feel and know, because our nervous system, it's like instead of having a 4-lane freeway, you actually have like an 18-lane freeway nervous system, because you needed to bring in that data faster and respond data faster. So you're like a supercomputer of human instinctual behavior, watching nuances of eye twitches or lip movement or feeling the energy of someone entering the room or not entering the room. And so those people that are highly psychic, when it was mapped, they grew up in very unsafe environments and their nervous system protected. And so there's really great benefit as we grow into adults, if we're able to reframe a painful childhood or a painful becoming and say that because of that, I've developed these gifts and been given these gifts. And now the job is to take those gifts and move them into our full being and contribute them. And then the pain comes full circle into helping others. It's cool stuff. Thank you, Mr. Matthew. It was awesome hearing your insights. Kenneth, then Terry, then Cindy, then Carolina. Kenneth.
Hi. Sorry, I was repeating that last thing you said to myself.
Okay.
The when I said the boxes are great. Yes, yes, the framework of the boxes is great. It's it helps put words and definition to things that just like are kind of abstract out there, and it's like hard to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
It's like it makes it just more defined, and then actionable.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so is there any choices that you're seeing come from that
Depends on it varies from the setting and person and place.
Of
Like
course.
with like work, I usually fall into the worst than, even though I have no need to be to feel that.
True.
Interesting. It's an interesting mechanism, huh?
Yep. Yep. And again, it just kind of depends on the situation and person. Like, I mean, there's a person I can think of where I'm in the worst than, I deserve and must be seen.
Oh, good job. 3 done for trifecta there.
Yep, yep.
I don't mean to make light of it, but we get good at these things.
Yep.
I don't know that we want to be good at them, but we get good at them.
No, I don't want to be good at that,
Yeah, things you don't want to be good at, right?
but yeah, it's given me a okay. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for your share, Ken. Terry, then Cindy, then Carolina.
I definitely like the boxes and the what does freedom mean exploration, but my takeaway mantra is when I feel closed down, just to say nope open, open, open.
Open,
Stay
open.
open. Shift my mindset. It'll be like that red light flashing.
Right, right. It's like that commercial back in the day when open, 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 you know, like the lady standing out on when the sale is going to be open, right? Awesome. Did we get-
Mervyn's of all places.
Is that what it was?
Is that what it was, Murphy?
Oh my God, that's a long callback. Yeah, and so like we have power words, and you can even say it in the middle of a meeting, like open. Okay, like this fine. Yeah, open. Stay open, stay open. Smiles also help. Just smiling, not smiling like fakely, but just putting a smile on your face, it changes your state. Thank you, Terry. Cindy, and then Caro.
Okay. I didn't realize how great this was going to be until I started like writing down some things in the last moments. Freedom. When you started talking about freedom, I had a struggle with what to write in the chat. And finally, something came.
Mhm.
And it was all about, oh, it was the old me.
Way to notice.
that wrote in the chat. And as soon as I wrote it, it was like, that is the old me.
Way to notice.
That is not the new me. And so I deleted it.
Power, man.
I deleted it.
Power.
Yes, it is. And I liked that, I no longer slip into old patterns. I choose a new pathway. I don't live the old way anymore. I am free to change. I can change. I can remember before abolish, it was like, I can't change. I can't change. I can't change. It was all I can't change.
That's Saboteur. It's
I
so
was
sneaky.
struggling. So it was a real bona fide struggle.
Absolutely.
It was real.
Mhm.
I could not change, but it shifted at abolish, and little by little, the changes are coming. And the more the change, each time a change comes, I don't want the old way. And so, like even tonight when I chatted that, um, I had to erase it because I was like, no, that ain't gonna stick. So
So your frequency. We're talking about frequency at the very beginning. When
yeah,
we open our frequency, the other frequencies aren't going to be able to. They don't either match. They don't come in anymore, or you just go, not it.
no, it's like no, I don't. That's not me anymore. I don't live like that anymore. Um, I am free to change. I can change. I live my life to the fullest, no longer constricted to living below the line.
Way to go, lady. I don't know if anybody else can notice this. Do you guys notice a difference in Cindy's voice? Terry does. What are you noticing, Terry?
She's reclaimed herself, kind of. She's more powerful, more energetic, more positive.
Assertive,
Yeah.
Assertive. That's a good one too. Yeah.
not question. He doesn't end in an up. It's this.
Yeah, it's not ending in a. It's solid. It's settled. It's like anchored. It's in.
Mm.
Your voice sounds resonantly, even through Zoom, different.
Wow. Cool.
You're telling him you're not asking if it's okay.
Yeah. There's
Look
no
in the
permission.
chat, Cindy.
Confident.
Yes.
Oh, thank
And
you.
I
Cindy.
wrote about what you talked about at the beginning. I live in that vibe of everything, and everything comes to me. Life is, and then I added life is adventurous, beautiful,
Hey, we're at 9
exciting,
o'clock.
and
I'm
I
gonna
have
get us out
miracles
of here. I'm gonna get us
daily.
out of here. Carol, give us a takeaway, and then I'm gonna do this drawing. Thank you for doing the inventory. I put everybody's name in multiple times. Some people. What's the takeaway for Carol?
For me, it's focusing on living outside of the boxes because it builds trust and respect. And when I can love and trust and respect myself, I can show up fully.
Yes. Absolutely. So, Kara won, just the numbers, but not the one thing. I'm gonna do the drawing right. But Kara had 14 post/comments. Wow. With Dr. J coming in at 13.
Really?
Yeah. And then I came in after that. It's good because I'm the facilitator of the group. I want you guys to beat me, blow me out of the water, right? And then Caro, and then Cindy. So we got a lot of numbers in here. We got Terry's in here, Sherry's in here, Shannon's in here. And so here we go. So we've got Caro.
Hey!
Wow.
Awesome. Go play the lottery. You win a lot of things.
Awesome.
Awesome. So tonight was really going into our freedom. What does freedom mean to you? And the courage to step out of the boxes. They weigh too much and their gravity is not on your behalf in any way. They're keeping you from life itself. So one of the homeworks that you're going to get, and here it is, and it's going to be in the email that I send you. Hopefully you guys read my emails because they're written and they're kind of cool, right? I want you to go see beauty in the world in new ways. I want you to just open your eyes, see with eyes that have not seen before, hear with the ears that have not heard before, feel with the heart has not opened this way before. But see catch the dew on the grass. Jackie, you want to share what I said this morning? I do this. I invite her to come see the beauty of things because I don't want to participate in it alone. So I drag her. I was like, come. You want to share about the experience this morning?
Yeah, so I was getting ready to leave to go to the office and she said, come see, you want to see something beautiful? And I came outside and she's showing me if you weren't looking for it, you wouldn't see it. So you got to look for the beauty, right? Where it had rained and there was dew on the ground.
The grass.
And on the grass. And there were little sparkles of the water that were changing different colors when the sun hit it and stuff like that. And it was really cool. There were some that were really big and then there were some that were just like sprinkled across, but some of them were pretty big size sparkle, you know, it looked like stars on the ground. It was really cool. So
it was changing colors like red and orange and purple, and they were the rainbow.
And I didn't see that until you said it either. You're like, they're changing red and orange, and then I moved like this, you know, just to get a little bit of a different angle. So this perspective is different than this perspective, which is different than this perspective, you know. Then
y'all got to stay off those psychedelics.
Yeah, totally.
My whole life is psychedelic. I don't need the mushrooms. But thank you, Jackie, for sharing that. And that's what I want for you. I want you to see the beauty in life. So invite in beauty. And that's all you need to say. I want to see the beauty. Show me the beauty. We are part of the beauty. We are not outside of it. We are in it. We are in the canvas. We're in the picture. We are in the creation. We are the creation. We're part of it. So I want you to dance in the beauty of life. And you are the beauty of life. And I want to, best homework ever. And I want you, this will, the frequency. That's what I want for you. What we're doing is we're putting you in the frequency mode of life itself. If life were an entity, which it is, an entity, an energy, a frequency, you are going deep into it. And I want you to feel it and see it and say, bring yourself to me. Let me see you more. There's this one time I told myself I want to, connect with, nature and something, just let me feel you. And I do this. I said, let me feel you. I want to feel you and see your amazement and just joy. And it brought, we were moving out of this particular house on Driscoll, and it brought this bluebird, right? Blue jay to this one part of the house. And I looked at him and I went over to him and I got within a foot of him and I'm like, you're awesome. And he's like dancing. And then he flew to the other side. And I'm like, where are you going? And I ran through the house to the back porch and he had landed there. And it was almost like he was playing with me. He's like, come chase me, come play with me. And I knew that that was an answer to my, I just want to feel you. I want to feel the joy of life itself and witness it. And that's what I want for you, because all of your life is beautiful. And yes, it's the best homework ever. Cool. So same time, same channel, back channel next week. Enjoy your Father's Day weekend coming up, and do something that would be honoring of the energy of that duality. The duality of birth itself is the feminine and the masculine, and each one of us hold the feminine and the masculine inside of us. They're different traits, and if you want to AI that, what are the traits of the masculine? You can do that. But what I want you to do is honor the masculine in its essence of spiritual creation, because sometimes we can be in the boxes with certain aspects of ourselves or others. And this is the opening of that masculine energy and the honoring of it in each one of us and in the world. Deal?
Deal.
Love you guys.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye. See you next week. Post in the Facebook group.
Thanks. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Good
Night.
job. Bye. Good night.